Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Realnesss with 3 S's. I'm your host, Francis, here with Mika to talk about episode 16 and 17 of Love Island UK All-Stars. No stars? Mika, how are you doing?
I'm good. Listen, I'm just here at this point with the season. The episode starts, I watch. I mentally take notes, and then I'm just like, yeah, I don't know about the show.
I mean, I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I like it in general, right? It's a show that I like watching. I'm enjoying watching even this season more than I'm enjoying, say, The Bachelor. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah,
But
I'm not watching The Bachelor. So
they haven't really done the best with casting for sure, and like we already talked about before, not changing up the format. I think it's really hurting. Like, what would be kind of cool is if, like, every day new people came in, and then a mass dumping at the end of the week or something. So there's like a lot of people interacting and mingling and talking. Like, I need something different. Do you think that they're gonna have a movie night? I know you get the press packages. Have you heard anything out about a movie night?
No, nothing about movie night. Please, my press release for today was literally two pages, because it was literally somebody gets dumped and then Joanna and Casey come in. That's it. They're giving us such limited information. There's no hype. There's just nothing.
Well, Rachel is here to hang out with us to complain about these last 2 episodes. You know. Oh, I have so much to say.
So much.
Like, man, people want me to not like them, huh? Like, I'm a nice person. I don't want to have to drag people.
I know, right?
Oh, I don't want to have to drag people. Okay, so we start off episode 16. So that was yesterday's episode, talking about with Josh. With Tom saying, like, if it would have happened if it would have happened, it would have happened on the outside. And that's with Georgia Steele. And nothing really phases Josh. Like, he doesn't really say that he's into Sophie or he's not into Sophie. What do you think about Tom's reaction about Georgia, it seems?
Tom's reaction to Georgia or Callum's reaction to Georgia?
Tom. This is in the beginning.
Oh. I don't think Tom is into Georgia.
Right.
And I think they had whatever they had. I think we discussed it. I think she's not the personality he would, really kind of go for. She's a little more aggressive. I think he likes Molly's little laid back, unaffected. I don't care about you really, but I'm into you, so I'm going to keep kissing you. I think he also understands he has one of the best girls in the villa.
Yeah. And, like, she doesn't know that he has a terrible personality yet, so he might as well hold on to the prize, right? This is after Snog, Marry, Pie, just to put you in context of, like, where they're at.
Okay.
Vibe-wise in the villa. The girls all have a chat, and Sophie, like she mentioned during the game in her confessional, was not really happy with Josh's proposal. She just didn't feel like he put really anything into it. He didn't at all. Like, and it was kind of like, what he's showing to me is that he's not that into Sophie, but he'll just, like, make out with her because she's a pretty girl, but, like, he doesn't really want anything from her. And it's giving fetish. It's giving, like, the black girl doesn't get to be the girlfriend in public, but only in private. I'm not really feeling that dynamic that he seems to be wanting from the relationship.
He's literally telling her one thing in bed, but also, I mean, he's doing a Mitch. Telling her one thing in bed, making out with her, making it seem like they can go on outside and last. When truthfully, he doesn't really like, he's just not into her. He just is just there because she's beautiful. She's a great body, and she's someone he can hang out with. But again, I said this about Sophie. I feel like this is the type of guy she tends to go to, from what I remember in her first season, and it's kind of like she didn't learn her lesson.
Well, maybe she doesn't get it. Like, I don't think maybe
Yeah.
she just doesn't realize that, like, he's actually not into her. Like, maybe when she
Mhm.
watches the season back, she'll be like,
Mhm. Oh
"Oh,"
yeah, he wasn't.
because, like, uh, he's not really showing her the sides of him that's other than the proposal thing. That
Right.
should have been like a little red flag, her being like, something's off here. He's not wanting to, even in a game, profess his love for me."
Right.
Uh,
I mean, which it did kind of alarm bells were ringing.
mhm.
But what did I say to you last episode? I said it's not going to stop her from continuing to like focus in on him, and I think she's going to dump Chris because everybody's like, "Oh, she's going to give Chris more time. She's going to give." No, she's not. No, she's not. And I said it. I knew it.
Well, it's because she's feeling
Mhm.
like that he's not that into her, or like, maybe it's the split focus is going to make him like, and if she focuses only on him,
Mhm.
he's going to want to be with her more. I think that's what she thinks, but I don't think it's going to change anything
Not at all.
personally. Liberty obviously doesn't feel like she deserved the pie. She didn't,
She did
like,
not.
at all, which is also makes me so mad at that boy. Uh, and I'm really done with both Georgias, but Georgia Harrison in this situation, because she feels uncomfortable, like because of Lib. And it's like, who cares? Like, it's a game, and like, why do you feel uncomfortable? Because you're going after somebody that Lib liked, that they broke it off, they're not dating each other, and you're on a show about dating and meeting people and coupling up. Like, what do you care about Lib that much? I think she's only saying that she cares about Lib is because she doesn't at all, and she wants to appear like she just cares about Liberty, but in actuality, she doesn't, in my opinion.
I think this consistent them trying to make Lib out to be some master villain that that in their story arc that they were about to start
Oh,
backfired. Backfired.
well, then Lib says, I'm gonna move on. Now I'm moving on. I'm like, I wrote down now, like now, like,
Liberty, I need you to go on some dates, meet some guys, experience the
your own
world, and
age.
not just like in London. You are an international girl. Girl, go on some dates. Go on some dates all over the world. And that, because she did Love Island when she was 20, going on 21 or something like that. Like, girl, go get some experience, go live your life, have the best time. The right guy is going to find you and appreciate you. But these blockheads,
No, and they're too old for her. Like, they're not that mature, but they have
mm-mm,
had more experiences than she has,
mhm.
and so she's not able to kind of match them in in the way to get those types of guys. You know?
Initially, like she comes with the energy in the middle when it's already too late. She needs to just like ignore them in the beginning, and then B, also set her boundaries from the start. No, you're not going to play me. No, you're not going to play around with me. I don't care what words are
Yeah,
coming
you
out of
just be
your mouth.
like, listen, like, as soon as I have one sign that you're like playing with me,
Mhm.
it's gonna be deuces. Like, I
Period.
don't have time for that bullshit. I
Period.
just like lay it out there and then follow through. I think what
Yep.
her problem also was is that she'd lay these boundaries and like, I want like my know my worth, self-worth,
Yep.
treat me well, and then she doesn't allow them to treat her well, and she
No.
doesn't hold them to it. She just says
No.
those words. And
She goes
so
back and forth. She lets them reel her back in with all this. Oh, I'm sorry. I will just, next time. I thought it was this, but and she falls for it every single time, and every single time it's a lie. Every single time.
hi Danita, happy Wednesday. I kind of hear you saying, right, the whole stepping on toes when there's no toes to be stepped on because no one is in anything so serious is so annoying. They're just rubbing it in Liberty's face now. Yes, and then it's also making her feel guilty about Josh or about Mitch being like, because of you, no girls want to get with me. And it's like, she's not stopping them from wanting to get with you. Like, she's told them to go ahead and do what they want.
Mhm.
Like, I'm annoyed with Georgia Harrison feeding into Mitch's narrative that Liberty is the reason why he hasn't been able to make other connections. It has absolutely nothing to do with Liberty.
I think I said this last episode. I'm going to tell you the truth. If I was Liberty, I wouldn't be friends with Georgia. She keeps saying it's because we're friends, because we're friends. If we were real friends, you would be like, I'm sorry. I want to get to know this guy. I know you like him. And it's neither of our faults. We just like what we like, and he and I are going to pursue a relationship, and you'd be done with it. And you're entitled to your feelings. You could come to me anytime to rant or rave. I'm here for you. I love you. But she's not even going to go to Georgia. She's going to go to Kaz. So if Georgia had just shut her mouth about it, it would have been fine. But it made her look bad to me. I'm sorry.
Icona says Liberty must be dancing in oil because they gaslit her to the max.
For real. Period. That's it.
Yeah, over Mitchell. Like finally, you're finally over Mitch. Like everything about him now has started to just like drives me crazy. Like the way that he walks, the way that he looks, the way that he speaks, like everything. I'm just so done with Mitchell.
I hope we never see him on another reality TV show.
You know that he's coming back.
I listen, we prayed for this with Scott. They answered our prayers. He's not coming on. He said it yesterday. He will not be on there. And so we can only pray for the same thing for Mitch.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. So the boys are having their own chat, and we hear that boy Mitch being like, the girls they don't have their own opinion. They don't have their own opinion. And I'm like, they just want to stand up for their friend because you treated them like garbage. And that is a group, a joint opinion. They all have that same opinion. It's not because Liberty has that one of you.
Notice how Liberty doesn't know what she's talking about. The girls don't know what they're talking about. Nobody knows what they're talking about when it comes to Mitch. Because he's full of shit. That's all it is. Because not every girl can be wrong about you, Mitch. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, but you know what, though? I don't know if was it you that's telling me this? I don't remember. But about how the Fiat 500.
Oh, yes, it was me.
It was you? Like, I didn't go looking for it because I knew it was going to, like, boil, like, get my blood
I was
boiling.
worried. I was worried there for a minute with this vote because I was like, I need Mitch dumped. Sorry. But all these people, oh, how dare Liberty do that to him? All the girls bullied him. How is this fair? He's such good TV. Mitch is such a good guy. Why can't anybody see it?
If Mitch was a good guy, he would not have pied Liberty.
He would not
have. I mean, that's just like in that particular game. There's many other things that he could have done to make him be a good guy. But pieing Liberty was the biggest dickhead move he could possibly do. And that is what stimulated all the women to be like, you're an asshole.
He lit the match. Lit the match. If he had not pied Liberty and pied anybody else, I think everybody else would have been like, oh, Mitch, ha, 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 ha. They would have moved on. But absolutely, he showed him his ass by pieing Liberty.
100%. So Hannah now thinks that that Tyler may be playing a bit of a game with the fact that Kaz was thinking that something more might have been going on with them. And I'm like, we definitely have not been seeing enough conversations because I haven't seen Kaz and Tyler working towards a relationship for her to be confused, right? And then he agreed that he had been confusing, but they did break it off. But like, oh, it's convenient now that Hannah doesn't want to pursue anything with him. Like, what do you think the reasoning behind that was?
What did I say last episode?
To the public vote, for the public vote.
I said, Hannah, because this is the reason why I pointed it out. A lot of people were insisting that Tyler was using Hannah. Yes, they were. But my whole thing is, if they were trying to make Tyler look bad, they would have showed those chats, which says to me, it's probably more of what Tyler and Kaz are saying. They kind of were in limbo. Like they weren't sure if they should explore, but they also really vibe. And so they really weren't really sure what they wanted to do. And they were both confused. I think they were both confused. I think he wants to be her friend. And from what I've seen, I think that's what it was. They realized they just could not go there again. and decided to be friends. But I think there was limbo. Which again,
It's fair.
fair and understandable on both of their parts to be confused, her to be confused and upset that maybe there was something there, him to be confused because maybe he wanted something but maybe he didn't. Like, I think it makes sense. But what it is on Hannah's part is an excuse because she never liked the man. All I kept saying on the timeline on Twitter, Tyler's using Hannah. Tyler doesn't really like Hannah. Tyler really, and at best, they were using each other. And at best, she was using him to stay in the villa.
Remember the suction lips? I wasn't talking to you about how she went in for that kiss.
She went into it. Oh no, we missed. I wasn't here for that episode, but I said it on my recap, and I said it on Twitter. She went for him. I said that's revisionist. I mean, he ate it and took it, but that was kind of him. Listen, I don't not like Tyler. I actually think Tyler's genuinely a good guy. There's some people who literally hate the ground he walks on, and I don't understand it because I think he genuinely is a good guy, because he could have laid it and said, oh, she
stuck it on me. Yeah.
Stuck it on me. But he took it and said, you know what? I was in it as much as she was. Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to, as the guy, I am going to eat that.
And not embarrass her or like say that she came on to me, or like maybe it would ruin things with her relationship with Kaz. And so like, you know what? Let me take some of this. I'll take the heat here.
Yes. But she went after him. She went up. Yes.
I kind of said her entire face on Tyler.
Twice.
You know what to do. I'm just saying that her lips were heat-seeking missiles, and it's just like because all I saw, I was like, whoa, these lips is coming in for him. It was so funny.
I mean, and she's not bad looking, so I'm sure he was just like, oh, why not? Why not?
I mean, so true, Danita. Like, if there's anything still going on between them, Love Island, Allstars was never going to be figured out. For sure. What I think it could have done potentially is open the door, and if they're interested in exploring it outside of the villa, like maybe she will pick up his phone call or respond to his text now. You know what I mean? Like, And so if it's going to happen, it would happen outside the villa. Yeah. But I don't think that it's the right place for either of them to, you know, try to rekindle things.
No, not for those. They had a real relationship, and that's how you know they had a real relationship. And I think the best thing that could have came out of this is I think they're now genuine friends now, which I don't think they could have been prior to this. I think they're genuine friends.
They've had the talks that they needed to.
Yeah.
You know, she was just like done. And
his family is
so they're all getting ready for the night. Anton gives like a long ass speech. I didn't write any of it down, but I just remember like this speech is long. Who gave him the microphone?
I don't know.
Georgia Harrison and Mitch are talking, and Mitch is like, "Are you mad at me?" I was just like, "Okay, you're gonna play victim now." Like, oh, Georgia's mad at her, and she's like, and so they're talking about obviously, like, you know, he shouldn't have pied her, and then something to do with like, you know, Liberty doesn't have thick skin and you have thicker skin, and he's like, well, maybe I don't have thicker skin, and I'm just like, I can't take you. Like now, like, oh, now you're like the victim. Pathetic victim baby. Like, no, Mitch,
you're not the victim. Never in this situation. Sorry.
And it repulses me that Georgia is still into this man. I mean, I know that she's actually not. Like, I'm sure she's not really. But like, wouldn't you get the ick? I would get the ick so big time with how he's acting.
Said from watching his first season, I wouldn't even talk to. I would like his first season. He gave me the ick. I don't understand why Liberty. I mean, I do understand, but I still understand why Liberty even gave him a chance, because to me, everything he did to her tracks with his first season. Like, from my soul, a glimpse of what he did in the first season, I would have been like, you know what, I'm good.
So what Mary is saying, if you're my ex and you actually respect me, you would not come on to Love Island when you know I'm here. So again, Tyler's not my fave, even if he's super hot. Does he know for sure that she's there?
He know that she was there?
Because like he would probably have been.
Isn't that the case then with Toby, with Molly, with like half the villa? What are you talking about?
Like Arabella, like
They're all exes.
Tom. Yeah, like actually I think that they all got an opportunity to come on the show. And they probably got an appearance fee
Yeah.
because
You
they're
get told you are all-star of Love Island, come on this show. And to be fair, from what we were saying earlier, anybody could have been an all-star, but they chose these people. And so, hell yes, I'm saying yes.
I'm saying yes, the opportunity, to be honest.
And I get to keep my socials and keep promoting and plugging and do whatever I want to do. Yes.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't behoove anybody for taking this opportunity at all. Sophie and Josh have a talk, and he hates being in a triangle. He doesn't hate being in a triangle. He just is not that into you, Sophie. I'm sorry, he's not. But this is his excuse for like not giving her the proposal. You kind of mentioned it. He wants her to now like get rid of Chris, and so that's the reason why he hasn't been completely open with her, is because he feels that he's in a triangle. And even though, so this would be like the reassurance that he needs from her for him to propose to her in Snog, Marry, Pie.
Yeah.
Like, I think though that it's kind of a way, it's a little bit manipulative in my opinion, kind of get her all to himself. And I think that if somebody comes in that's interested in him, that he's interested back, I think he will drop Sophie like a hot potato.
Bad habit. Like a bad habit.
Yeah, just dropped.
Yep.
Tyler, Callum, and Anton chat, and they're chatting about Georgia and noticing how many chats she has with Tom, being like, how many one-on-one conversations do you need to have with somebody that you saw outside the villa that you are not interested in anymore, who's pursuing someone else in the villa at this time and is coupled up with them? I agree, boys. How many? So in Georgia and Tom's conversation, he says that he's taking it slow with Molly, but he really likes her. This is not the beginning, but just Georgia was starting just to get on my nerves. Like how I feel like he must be getting the ick. Wouldn't you get the ick if someone kept on being like, do you think I'm pretty? Like, do you think you want to do you want to pick me? Like, do you wish that you're with me? Like, we had something special outside of here. Like, would you be into that?
Not at all. Not at all. It would gross me out.
Yeah. That she needs so much reassurance on her self-worth. And like, I understand that not everybody's super confident, but how she does this is really unbecoming for me.
Yeah. I agree.
Especially because she's a gorgeous girl. Like, she has a petite, nice body. Like, everybody is coming in for her. And it's the fact that she's, I feel, competing with Molly. And she's like,
you've given me a lot to think about, because I was more thinking she was a game player. I think I said this before, but you're right. She's just insecure.
Really insecure.
Really insecure. Really insecure. You're right. You're right.
Yeah. But like, and I can have compassion for that, but how it's playing out in this villa, it's
not a good look. It's an ick.
It's such an ick. It's okay. So I kind of thinks that Tom likes the attention he gets from the girls. That's why his face was shocked when she didn't pick him for the kiss, because she was all over him. He wanted her to be bold while he stays hidden.
I mean, fair. Listen, Tom's not my favorite. I just, from the way things track with him, he does not like to be pursued heavy from even his first season. Additionally, the fact that he shut her down, I've seen him kiss people he liked while he was still in a couple with somebody else, and still went to pursue the couple he kissed against. So if he wanted to kiss her, he would have kissed her. It was early days. He could have waved it off, but I don't think he likes her. I don't.
Possibly. Well, Callum thinks that if there's something that was going on between Georgia and Tom, that she would have said something to him. You would think. But So Josh and Chris have a conversation, and they're gossiping about the information about Georgia. I'm asking if you think that Georgia is off of Callum.
Mm-hmm.
And tells Chris about the comment about G pulling Tom to the terrace. Guys love to gossip, even though they pretend like they are not about the gossip and the drama. It's very hilarious.
Guys are the worst gossips. The worst gossips that I know are like my dad and my brother-in-law. Is like bad. Like they get all the tea and they be spilling it.
Oh yeah, Tom's not ready to settle. I agree. It's a waste of time to go after him. It's a waste of time to go after almost everybody in this villa. Yeah. All the guys, anyways. Maybe just Chris.
I mean, 90% of them are in their early 20s, like Tom, Toby. They're just.
It's not there yet.
It's futile. It's futile. Yeah,
just having fun. They're just having fun. So the boys, or so Josh and Chris call Callum over to kind of let him know about the fact that Georgia pulled Tom to the terrace. Mm-hmm. And he's kind of irritated by it. And he's just like, doesn't wish she just didn't lie. Like, why is she lying to him and saying like nothing's going on between them when something actually is going on to mm-hmm. him? They tell him about how she took him to the terrace. And so then Callum goes to talk to Georgia. And Georgia's like, oh, I'm glad that she said something because it's been on my chest for a while. And I was like, it should not be sitting on your chest for a while. Like if you are interested in pursuing something with somebody else or just exploring or still having some tats with somebody that you're seeing in the past, I do think it's appropriate for you to get that off your chest a little bit sooner.
To be upfront. I mean, like if it wasn't, I don't want to say it wasn't that big of a deal, but if it was in a context of, hey, there was either something still there, Callum would understand, or the fact that, it was early days with him and her and she was confused. Again, we see here, Callum would understand. You could have told him 3 days ago.
Absolutely. Well, she could have told him as soon as they recoupled. And being like, I know, like, we still just have some conversations to be had. I don't know if I'm pursuing him right now or if it's something that I want, but I still want to have some conversation with him because things were left unfinished before we came into the villa. Whatever. Yeah. So then they would know that at least, they're talking about relationship stuff. They're not just having like friendship conversation or whatever they pretending that they were having.
Period.
Mary here is saying that Georgia keeping her loyal behavior secret, pretends to be shocked. Yeah, she's not. Anyone has to say a lot. Remember, doth protest too much. Like, if you had to say it, that it should be your actions that show how you are. She doesn't act loyal. She doesn't show that she's a loyal friend and a loyal partner. She shows to be deceitful and disloyal and not a girl's girl, which we'll get to shortly. And so, yeah. Like, just because you say it, Georgia, doesn't mean you are.
Doesn't mean it's the truth at all.
Mm-hmm. At all. And so she's able to slither out of this. Like, maybe he just wants to have a girlfriend in the villa. But, like, she's just like, oh, well, that was before, like, the hideaway. And, like, oh, that was before, like, we really started, like, talking. And, oh, that was before, like, and Callum is just eating it up. Yeah. He's not holding her to the fire at all. He's just accepting everything that she says.
I will say this, and I think I said this last time. I like Callum. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's a pretty genuine guy.
It's like Jordan's allergic to being honest.
Yeah, pretty much.
She doesn't know how to be honest at all.
I think he has to see it. I think he's gonna have to see it, and he's
movie night.
Unless we get a movie night, I don't know.
Do you think we're getting a movie night? What we have 2 weeks left?
We have 2 weeks left. I don't know.
Movie night could be a next week kind of thing.
Yeah, it should be.
Like, they need a movie night for sure. What they're gonna have one recoupling now at the end of this week, I guess.
Probably that's what they've been tracking. One recoupling.
And then maybe next week, movie night. What day of the week? Do you remember what it usually is? Is there a usual?
It depends. Like, I think it's been Sunday night. Like, they tease it Friday and then it's like a Sunday night.
Please be movie night this Sunday. This is my belated birthday wish. I need it to happen. I need her exposed. Like she got me so irate watching this episode that I was tweeting. I was tweeting about her. Like I don't tweet.
She doesn't
I
tweet.
don't tweet.
I tweet.
I was like, somebody else must be talking about her right now. And like, I'm like commenting on people's posts. Like, yeah. So she got me up in arms here. But she says that I fancy you a lot. And then he pulls her in and kisses her on the cheek. And I'm just like, okay, Callum, like, you're a good guy. I think you want to see the best in her. You don't want to think that she would be lying to your face like she was.
But she is.
And you'll have to learn the hard way that she is disloyal.
Yeah.
So Josh and Sophie have another conversation. And he's like, he's such a brat. He's like, you may be mad at me, but I kind of told. And so she was really, really pissed that
she was pissed, and she had a reason to be pissed. Like, and this is another reason why you know that he just like is not into her, because he would have thought about it. He would have thought about it that, oh, maybe I shouldn't. It came from her, right? Yeah. It'd be different if it like he got it directly from the horse's mouth, but it came from the girl you're in a couple with. And then that's how it even came out that, Sophie said.
Yeah. Well, and like, I think that what's frustrating too is that like Sophie didn't want it to get out. She still wants to look like she's a person that people can confide in. And like now it just looks like she's a shit friend.
Yeah.
And she was only really just telling her boyfriend, which you should kind of be okay with doing, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, it's a disloyal boyfriend. That's not good vibes. That means he doesn't care about her, in my opinion.
Right? I agree. I don't think he does. That's definitely an indicator to me, because it should never, like, you would go around and try to figure out the information another way before you said Sophie says.
Well, just something just being like, so I've heard, I heard through the grapevine that blah, 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 and just like leave names out of it.
Yeah.
If you have to tell.
Yeah.
But it's trying to be messy.
Sophie said. I want to throttle him.
Chris tells Tom about what they told Callum, and Tom now is like, oh, I guess, like, should I tell Molly about this? Like, well, you should have already told Molly about this, but okay, yes, you should.
But to me, that's another indicator that he thought it was done.
Yeah, he wasn't like into
it wasn't like he was hiding it. He thought it was that insignificant.
Maybe. Like, yeah, maybe it was that insignificant, or maybe because he's not that into Georgia. Yeah,
like, because I think he did tell one or two of the guys, like, oh, she said this, but like if he thought it was like something like important, he would have asked them then, because that was like 2 days ago. Like, should I tell Molly? Like, do you think it's something I should bring up with her? And they would have said like yes or no or whatever. But he just told the guys and kept it moving. Like, I think it was that insignificant to him.
So Kaz and Sophie are talking, and Sophie's annoyed, obviously, that Josh told Callum about this situation. And so I think she also like doesn't necessarily like drama. And so like the fact that this is coming out, she's going to be involved in drama and like a he said, she said, and where did you get this information from? And then Georgia's like, well, girl code. And like, so yeah, I think Sophie just didn't want to be part of that whole mess if it were to get there.
Yep.
Tom does tell Molly, and she's kind of like feeling a type of way about it. She's like, well, I think you should have told me sooner. Like, I 100% agree that he should have told her sooner. I know that to him, it wasn't significant, but I do think it makes Molly look like a bit of a mug.
Because she's been so kind to that girl. I mean, literally letting her do whatever she wanted to do. And it's like she's playing in her face.
Yep. And she's like, I look like a mug, and you know, like the conversations are constant, and he's like says like, don't worry. She's like, I'm not worried. Like I love Molly knows that she could get any guy that she wants. Like she has the energy that I think Georgia thinks that she has, but she ain't got it like Molly does anyways. Because Molly's like, I'm not worried. You might be worried, but I'm not worried. Like I
I
don't
mean,
need
like
to
she
be
shouldn't be, not in this villa. She just go to whoever Toby's right there. Be like, sorry,
anybody
Arabella.
who like decides to partner up with will
Yeah,
be okay with it.
yeah. She'd be like, sorry, Arabella. I'm just gonna continue doing what I was doing with Toby. Bye.
Yeah, you're gonna be dumped for the villa.
Yeah.
So Marley tells all the girls about Georgia, and she's pissed off about this, and like, oh, so you're gonna have my ex and now my next? Like, she's like, give me a break. Like, it's kind of annoying. It seems a little bit targeted that like you can't find anybody else attractive other than the people that Molly has interest in.
And it's not like they look the same. Like,
No.
I get it, like I would get it if it was like Arabella, because they look very similar, except for Arabella's taller, right? But like, same coloring and
Arabella and who and Molly
Molly. But Georgia and her are like in no way in the same vein. And it's like, okay, like there's no way all these men and you and I are all the same type.
no, no. I think that Georgia's type is Molly's, whoever Molly's type is,
Mhm.
because she's competing with Molly, and Molly doesn't know
Yeah, or care.
or care. So Georgia H tells Georgia Steele everything that's going on, and I'm just like, why is Georgia H trying to make us hate her?
I don't know. Maybe maybe to stay on the show, like be messy and stay on the show, because I mean,
Or maybe
to be
she
fair,
recognizes that like they both have the same shady
mhm.
personality, and like because like how she's saying this to Liberty, like, oh, I don't like, I'm such a good friend, like is kind of what George is doing, like, oh, I'm so loyal.
Yeah, it was a very, very almost mirror image of the situation that was happening. Yeah,
So maybe she just is like needs to support that so that she doesn't feel like she's such a shitty person.
you know, you either gravitate or reject the person that is very similar to you. So,
And she's gravitating towards her for sure.
mhm.
So girls do chat, and I swear I didn't write that in the chat. I wrote, I can't stand Georgia Steele. She's trash.
She
I don't know what happened in the conversation, but there was a fight, Georgia Steele versus Molly, basically.
Oh, yeah, it was just her, like, she was going at Molly and then interrupting Molly, and Molly was then like, "Okay, now it's time for me to talk." And then she's like, "Oh,
Oh no, see, this is the earlier conversation.
oh, it's the earlier
It
one."
was before the beach club.
Yeah,
So it was when everybody was there, and like, and it was the first
it
time.
was the one in the dressing room.
Yeah.
She was still doing that. She was interrupting Molly, and she
Well,
was,
she's always Georgia Steele's always interrupting.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. She was interrupting her and she was not letting her speak. And Molly's like, I just feel like you're not a girl's girl.
The girl girl's comment was at the beach club, but yes, like she's not. I agree.
That's
For
what she
sure.
got out of the conversation. She was like, "You're not gonna let me talk? You're not a girl's girl."
Ms. Love here is saying Georgia Harrison was annoying me with her support of Georgia Steele and her nonsense. I feel like she is just a more low key version of Georgia
Yep,
Steele.
that's
100%. 100%. So at bedtime now, Josh is saying like, do you not love me anymore? And like to Sophie. And so he's still a little bit in the doghouse, but that will be changed shortly. Callum and Georgia are kissing. So I think Georgia's like, and that's also grosses me out a little bit, like the fact that like I think she's sticking it on him sexually because like she wants to like for her story to make sense. Like, I am into you, Callum. Like, I do want to be with you. And like, I don't know if she actually does want to be with him. And so, like, I was just like,
somebody said, "Can you change not wanting to like have sex with somebody?"
I don't know.
And I'm gonna be fair. I learned that that's not a good sign. If you do not want to have sex with somebody that you're supposed to be sexually attracted to, that either you're pursuing or they're pursuing you, 9 times out of 10, it's never gonna come. It's never gonna come. Even if you do have sex with them. Even if you do have sex with them.
Well, and that's what it seems like. I don't feel as though she's sexually intimate with Callum because she wants to and she's feeling it. I think she's doing it to represent how she wants him to think she feels. You know what I mean?
And for him, it might be like a love language. The guy just has sex, so it's.
Well, yeah, he's what? He's a Taurus, right?
Yeah. So
Taurus loves that for sure.
Do
They're the most sensual sign in the zodiac. They love like kissing. They're the best kissers. They love like sensual things. So, and like, you know, we were making fun of the fact that he had 16 people since Molly, but they're ruled by Venus. They love that love energy. And, you know, he thinks he's getting that from Georgia, but I don't think she's actually getting turned on by it, we'll say. Maybe no, I don't think she is. Toby and Arabella are also smooching in the nighttime. In the morning, we see Josh, Tom chat, and they talk about how G was pulling him. Sophie, Georgia Harrison, Hannah, and Georgia Steele are also talking. And now she's saying, oh, I'm getting the proper feels. I said, sure, Georgia.
Sure you are.
Sure, Georgia.
Sure you are.
Because of how he handled, like.
I mean, to be fair, that is attractive.
But like, handle your lies. He believed your lies.
That's what I'm saying. To a shit person, when you notice you can snow over a guy.
You're like, ooh. He believes anything I say.
Yeah. Listen, that's why I said there is a pot for every lid. There's a lid for every pot. There are, because people are like, oh, there's shitty women. Yes, and they will get the guys that are necessarily to get what they want. Same thing with women and men. There are that for every person, and for right now, she's got her hooks in Callum.
So Callum talks to Josh, and he said that he squashed it. Like, Georgia came in with the right energy, said the things that he wanted to hear, and it's done. He believes Georgia. He believes that it's over between her and Tom, and it's done. Hannah isn't drawn to Tyler. We know Hannah. We know. She doesn't get the fanny flutters when she kisses him. I get it. Like, remember, the kiss ain't great. Legs don't separate. But like, why were you guys pretending? Like, that date was so false. It was so false.
What did I say? You're going to come back to the villa and say, oh, we kissed like a peck at the end.
Yeah, you're not into that guy.
No.
So they get a text that there's going to be an exclusive party and for them to get ready. And then we have all these slow-mo dance motions when they're at this beach club, pool party. And I thought that like a dumping was going to happen at the beach club. Right?
So I had flashbacks. It was like, oh no, not the beach club. Like, all these people should be having flashbacks.
Yeah.
Because that is usually where the dumping takes place.
Yeah.
But I did realize that it might not be there because when I saw Maya walking in the promos, it was in the dark and it looked like the villa. So, yeah.
Right. Well, like, I wasn't like thinking about it in that way, but like, I just wanted it to happen then, or just expected it. I didn't remember seeing her in the promo walking in the villa at night. So we hear Georgia saying, like, I only have eyes for you, Cal. Only have eyes for you. And now she's blaming Molly for as an excuse to be mad at her or whatever, being like, yeah, like, I think she's upset that, like, me and you are going so well. And like, when we first started to like when we were in the villa, she was a different way. And now she's like a little bit off me. And like, I think it's because of the fact that like, we're getting along so well. And I'm like, okay, so now Molly's the reason, like, is the problem, right? Molly has been so fine with you guys getting together. So fine, in my opinion. Oh my gosh. So then Liberty, Kaz, and Molly are talking, and then she said, "This is actually when she says my ex and my next." Kaz did, I believe, or you're next. And then I'm like, I need movie night. I need Georgia exposed. I need movie night. I need Georgia exposed. So Molly does go to speak to Georgia again because she's irritated, which I understand. And so maybe she did say it. I don't know when she said it, but right now is where I wrote, I don't appreciate you saying I'm not a girl's girl. And it's like, it's really
that's what she did say it earlier in the dressing room.
That's again here for sure.
Yeah, she did say it again.
And like that's what Georgia Steele is like latched onto. Like, I can't believe you said I'm not a girl's girl. I can't believe, and then cutting her off and saying that again. And then like, would you let me speak? And then she started getting a little bit nasty, I thought.
She got very nasty. And Molly was very even keeled. And she's like, listen, I let you talk earlier. You're going to hear what I have to say this time. You're not a girl's girl. And she was like, and then she kept trying to interrupt her. She's like, no. Molly, listen, Molly shut her down. Molly
shut her down. I was happy about that. And being like, you know, like, so you're allowed to talk to anybody that you want to talk to. She's like, I just thought that like it would be out of respect since we're friends, right? That you would tell me that you guys are still talking. She's like, well, we got history. We had something in the past. And it's like even more of a reason why you should be upfront with me, who's dating somebody else, dating him now, about where you guys stand, because are you guys rekindling? Like, she's like, no, not at all. We're just friends. And she's like, well, then there should have been no reason for you to not want to just be like, hey, we're just having friendly conversation.
We're having conversation. We're chatting. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. She really tried to throw Molly under the bus. Absolutely. Absolutely. I kind of said not a Molly fan, but Molly really did collect Georgia all the way together. She was not backing down. I was shocked to see the side of Molly. Molly said what she said. I was proud of Molly. I'm not a big Molly fan either, but I'm happy that she did not buckle to Georgia Steele.
Period. She somebody standing on business. Molly stood on business.
100%. Yeah, I kind of also, Georgia's not a girl's girl. We know this. She went behind Molly's back and flirted with Tom. Absolutely. Like, just like the truth or dare game alone. Inappropriate.
Yeah.
Because like all these dares are like, kiss me or blah, blah, blah. That's inappropriate.
Yeah.
She openly said that she wants to kiss Tom. She would have picked Tom over Callum, and she gaslit Molly hardcore. Absolutely. Oh, it was really gross. Yes, she did a good job standing up for herself. I was proud of Molly. Georgia always tries to make herself a victim in the situation with Molly when she's actually the antagonist. I know, it's so annoying. She feels special when she thinks she's winning over Molly. And it's so gross. So I'm so like, oh, I when she comes out, like the excuses that she's gonna have,
so many excuses. It's either gonna be like, oh, it's a game, guys. Oh, like that's not how I would act in outside of here. Yeah,
I love that when Molly was like, well, are you figuring it out or are you catching up with a friend? Are you figuring it out or are you catching up with a friend? Like, and I was like, yeah, what's the answer, Georgia?
Listen, don't play with us. Like we know this stuff, and I say this all the time. I am the queen of allowing people to lie to me and themselves until it's time for me to throw all the information
back. You're just collecting information. So Georgia Steele goes to Georgia Harrison and Arabella after, because Molly storms off and goes back to Kaz and Liberty. And I was like, oh, this disloyal trio. The three of them. Those three stick together. They're kind of like the mean stepsisters, like the ugly witches. Like, I don't know. I was like, the fact that Arabella's in that group, just it made me know that I'm not a fan of Arabella. You know what I mean?
I'm not. I told you.
Yeah, I know you don't. I know you don't like her, but like, and I didn't like her season 5. I couldn't really remember the situation because I haven't seen it in 8 years or however long that season was.
Yeah.
But like, the fact that that's her people, that she can go, that's going to support her actions, like, because they all have done the same thing.
I think Arabella just doesn't have any choices right now to be the nasty person that we know that she can be, or she's trying to rectify her image. But I agree.
She's trying to rectify her image. She would not be a sounding board for Georgia Steele.
Yeah, I don't know if she realizes it though. I don't know if she realizes it, that like how bad it is that she's sitting there with Georgia still.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. Again, I wrote Georgia Steele will be exposed movie night. I need it. I need it. I didn't know I needed anything.
We ain't getting a casa, so I don't know. They better do movie night, but who knows?
Well, what else they're gonna do for the next 2 weeks? Just the same format that we've had for the last 3 weeks?
That's why I said they needed to change the format period in total, because it's like, what else is there left? We did Snog Marry Pie, and like they're barely playing games. Like, I don't know what else is left. But like you said,
they did Snog Marry Pie. I think movie night would be a good, like, a thing that they would bring along for this series.
Since you're not doing Casa, yeah. Or like you said, they need to just dump a shitload of islanders. Like they did season 1 of USA, where they just brought a boatload of islanders in and just Russian roulette everybody.
You're out of here. You're out of here. You're out. So Molly walks over to vent to Liberty and Kaz, and see, like, they're like the nice, wholesome people that Molly's group that feels is supported by. And I just think it's just very interesting who you feel is going to support your antics, right? Yeah. Like, it's even like with podcasts. If a podcast is not, it doesn't have the same view as me, I might listen a little bit, but it won't be my go-to podcast, because like it actually feels icky when like you have a really, really opposite opinion of the people that you're listening to. And so say again?
I said, oh yeah, like even like one of our like podcasts that we really liked when we were watching Bachelor in Paradise, that they just was like so Dear Shandy, and they were just so opposite in their opinion of a lot of people. And I'm sorry, I listened to their Joey recaps, and I still said, I still like, can I really believe your opinions on these people?
I know, it changed a lot of things. It changed a lot of things. And I was like, interesting. And so like the fact that she feels comfortable going to Liberty and Kaz, like, I think it says a lot about her, about Molly, and the fact that Georgia feels as though the words that they say is going to comfort her. I feel like she would be choosing the wrong podcast. You know, she'd be fans of the podcast that we hate.
Yeah, you know? Pretty much.
Yeah, there's some podcasts that I really can't watch, you know what I mean? And she'd probably be like, they're the best.
You know,
Hannah talks about Tyler. Oh no, Hannah and Tyler are talking, and she said that she's not feeling it, and that they're gonna break things off, and they're just still gonna be really good mates. And she's just like, oh, give me a hug, give me a cuddle. Like, I'm just like, oh, what a waste of a date.
Yeah.
Like, I think if the producer want to be messy, they should have just put Liberty and Mitch on that date.
I think Tyler took it well. Yep. I think he like, if he was playing a game even more, he would have been like, oh, well, we can figure it out and blah, blah, blah. And I think he did the right thing. He moved the right way.
Mary says it's okay to play devil's advocate, like Georgia S. is good TV and is icky, but not as icky as Mitch. She's the TV. It's fine. She's stirring up feelings within me. Like, has a storyline that's going on, but both of them are just so unlikable.
I'm sorry, going into the hideaway with someone that you say you can't see yourself shagging is icky. Sorry.
Yep. Yeah.
It is. And then also going back and forth with the other guy around that situation.
Rachel says, I think they're going to do a version of the season 10 grafties, but the categories suck. What? Oh no, I don't want most likely, or like superlatives or whatever, or, you know, or worst kiss or best fight. I mean, it was still probably still show it.
Please no. I didn't like it.
Yeah, do you know what the categories are? Oh boy. Oh no. As long as Georgia gets her to just desserts, I agree. Like, however you need to deliver it is perfect.
Listen, I sat there and watched last season where I was waiting for Sammy to get his just
Oh
desserts and he
no.
won the fucking show. So I'm sorry. I don't believe that in it maybe in the US, but not in the UK. Sorry.
Wait, so on their IG stories, like from season 10, or are you talking about like the new season? You already know their categories. I, I'm supposed to be the old. It must be the old seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I thought there was gonna be a W at the beach club. I'd said. Then they're back at the villa. They're getting ready for the night. Sophie tells Josh that she wants to break the triangle. So Josh is happy about this. Tom tells Molly that he fancies her. So
Oh, she's right. It's they're asking us. Oh, you can't see it here. They're asking us to vote.
let me hear what the categories are.
It's not even categories. It's like All-Star Riz. The nominees are, and then they give like 3 clips, and
Okay.
then Salty All-Star, Salty All-Star.
Salty All-Star.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then it's like 3 people: Toby, Arabella, Molly.
So they're gonna make it be Molly, and so like Jordan's gonna feel justified.
All-Star Comedy Moment:
I don't know.
Chris, Anton, Kaz. All-Star. Um,
Is it Anton falling in the pool? That was funny.
let me see which one it was. Uh, I think this is Chris kissing Molly. Oh, kissing Arabella. That was funny. Yes, it's Anton falling in the
Okay.
pool, and then Kaz. Which moment?
Whatever. Let me more
Yeah,
categories.
yeah. So those are the only categories they posted so far. It's like
Oh,
4.
if they do not have, wait, what would the category be for to show that?
Sneakiest Islander.
Yes, a sneak attack. Was
Yeah.
that what Bria said?
Um,
um, uh,
uh,
terrace, terrace, terrace smooching or terrace secrets.
I don't know. Best terrace escapades or something like that. Ugh, I don't know. This is not good. This is not good. Guys, this is not good.
Because like she probably has in her contract to not make her look bad or something, you know.
Probably.
Bleh. All right, so Georgia explaining this whole situation again about how the fact that she didn't do anything, it's just an old friend of hers. They get just talking, and I'm like, guilty. Did the words leave your mouth? Like, she's so annoying. So then Maya Jama is back, and she asks all the Islanders to join her by the pool, and she puts them in an order. So they put Tom and Molly, then Georgia S and Callum, Hannah and Tyler, Georgia Harrison and Anton, Kaz and Chris, Sophie and Josh, Arabella and Toby, and Liberty and Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the most to the least amount of votes from the public.
Mm-hmm.
And Liberty and Mitch being in the bottom here. Please leave immediately. And I said, good riddance, Mitch.
Yeah. Listen, I was like, perfect. I love you, Liberty, but it was time. Sorry, sweetie. Bye bye.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people are not going to find anybody in this villa, but definitely not you. So it's like time to go. And we see Chris saying to Kaz, "I'll be here for you," kind of comforting her. But
people are mad at that, you know.
Why?
They were mad at him hugging her. They were mad at
Why?
him saying that because he doesn't want to pursue anything with her, and you know her best friend just left, and it's like he's trying to replace her. And I was like,
What?
but they're like
They're a couple, like they're friends, they're
right.
besties.
Kaz clearly knows that they went into this as a friendship couple. Kaz has clearly been there while he's pursuing Sophie and said nothing, and Kaz, I'm sure she had her hands linked in with his, and was holding his other arm that he was holding her. I think she would have been okay with the actual physical somebody being there for her while her best friend went out the damn door.
Absolutely. So, anyways, people are dumb. Like, I don't care about that at all. But we do learn at the end of this episode that 2 more Islanders are going to be leaving tonight, and it's down to the Islanders to choose. Dun,
Yeah.
dun, dun.
So now going into this, it was like 2 schools of thought. Were they going to have to vote off somebody, or was Joanna and Casey going to walk in and do like the last few dumpings and
I'll
choose
choose
somebody,
somebody.
steal somebody, and have somebody dumped?
From how they set it up, I didn't think that, but like that's actually would have been better.
I think so too.
Okay, so who would then Joanna have chosen? Do you think?
I think she would have chosen Tyler. Only because when I was listening to the morning after podcast, apparently she's friends with a few people in there, and I don't think she would have wanted to steal their guy without having a conversation first. So like, even though she likes Anton, she wasn't good. She's friends with Georgia H. She wouldn't have stolen him.
Yeah, I mean, she wouldn't have stolen Anton ever, but like Anton's safe with Georgia Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
So you think she would have stolen Tyler?
Mm-hmm.
So then Hannah would have gone. Okay, that would have been fine by me. And then Casey. Okay, to tell me a little bit about Casey, because I remember that's like the one season I didn't watch, and like
okay, so when Casey first came in, he was such a sweet guy. Like he was kind of like a Scott, like a stand on business, like what's right is right.
Mm-hmm.
I don't hate Casey. I actually like him. The problem I mostly have with Casey is his best friend is Tom. And everybody, like, literally, it's like they're dating. They live together, and actually, him and Tom.
Really, I didn't know.
Yeah, and then like literally, they dumped their girls for each other. It felt like after the show, and then I think they're also really good friends with Tyler, surprisingly.
Okay, I didn't know.
Off the show, so. I like Casey. If it was like a Casey Tom type of thing, I like Casey over Tom. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's a little more genuine than some of these other people.
Because he's not as good looking as Tom,
right.
So he has had to have a personality a little bit.
Right. He has a great personality. He's funny. Like I said, he's very stand up for what's right. I think it was how because like he liked somebody, and then they like strung him along, and then Claudia came in, and he like liked her, but I always felt like he didn't like her as much. And then he kind of found somebody else and switched it, and of course it's kind of like the Callum Molly thing. Then it was like he was the bad guy because he didn't stay with Claudia. And I think like she's blonde, she's beautiful, blonde, rich. Yeah. She's very rich, and her father's famous, and I think they just wanted her to like
get with somebody,
have somebody and come out and win the show, and it was like a whole thing. Yeah.
Okay, well, he's coming soon. So we're back to the double dumping for episode 17 here. They separate, Maya separates the girls and the boys, and so the girls are going to decide which boy is going to be dumped, and the girls are going to decide which boys are going to decide which girl, whatever, you got what I'm saying. And Molly and Tom, since they were the most liked couple, have the final decision as to which boy and which girl is going to be dumped from the item. I
think that to me, that was a good choice, right? Like, because I feel like Molly would be fair, and I feel like Tom would be fair. I don't like Tom, but I feel like he would be fair. And yes, Casey over Tom always. Yep.
So with the girls' chat, everybody's like, not Tom, not Callum. I was also really annoyed with Georgia there too, just being like, like me and Callum are so strong, and she's like, but like Molly immediately was just like, well, not Tom, not Callum, like we both have something strong going, whatever. And like she's being quite diplomatic about it, and like just the fact that Georgia, like if anybody knew how not strong they actually are, like it was just annoying that she was just, you could just see that she's lying, but she's playing along with it. Excited about, who is that? Or I think Arabella was saying that she's excited about.
Yeah, she likes Toby, like she's good with where they are, which I think she does, right?
Mhm.
Like, I don't think that was untrue.
They don't want Anton to go, and I'm like, why?
Why? None of y'all want him. So, like, that pissed me off. And it's gonna piss me off even more or worse when what happens later happens. But keep going.
Mhm. In the they also say Chris is not going to be going. With the boys chat, not Molly or Georgia S. Josh said it's going well with Sophie. They said something about the drama, so I don't know if that was about Arabella or not.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that Hannah is a big part of the villa. Um, and then I was just like, what are they going to do here? What did you think that they were going to do?
What they did. I called it. I said it before they said it. Like, I said their names as they were coming out of their mouths. I knew what they were going to do. The girls were going to allow the people that they like in the personalities to stay, and the guys were going to be like, listen, Hannah's great, but she don't want nobody here, so she can go.
Yeah. So dumped from the villa is Hannah and Tyler. And I was worried that, like, because they did mention that no one really was interested in Kaz.
Yes, yeah.
And so the short list for the boys was Anton, Tyler, and Chris was the short list. And did I not put the short list? Oh, and Hannah, Kaz, and Georgia was the short. Georgia Harrison was the short list for the guys picking. And honestly, like, I would have sent Anton out.
I personally would have sent Anton out too.
Tyler has not had a chance.
Yeah. And they said it too. That's the part. It's like they said Chris and Tyler just got here. Anton has been here since the beginning. But it's like they went with, oh, he's such a and to be fair, Kaz did kind of play into this. She said she helped save him. So it's like, yeah, but like, help save him for what? None of y'all want him.
Yeah.
Or he doesn't want any of you. The only person that he seems to be stuck on is the person that doesn't want him.
And like the fact that, like, probably Georgia's voice was so strong there, like, to have her backup friendship couple, like, is kind of annoying that Tyler doesn't get to have a chance here. But I was a little bit worried that they're just going to dump the two black people, because these people, I could see it in a heartbeat.
I could see it too. But I knew on the guy's side
Toby was
that
supporting her. Yeah.
Toby and Chris were never going to let them dump Kaz.
Yeah.
Never going to let them dump Kaz. And so that was what I knew I could at least count on. And I don't think Tyler would have allowed them to dump Kaz either, because he knows where she is. I don't think he would have allowed that. Because we see here he helped them choose Hannah, so it wasn't Kaz.
So back to the fire pit. Molly chose Tyler, Tom chooses Hannah. And so those two.
But I agree. I don't think it was fair for Tyler to go. I think Anton should have went.
Absolutely. Anton, like, people will come in for Tyler. Nobody's coming in for Anton. Right. Like, I wouldn't even be surprised if Joanna, because it seems like she likes mixed race men. Like, I only have Michael to go by, but like,
which is why I said I think she would have chosen a Tyler, and I think he would have been interested in a Joanna.
I think they would look good together too.
Same. I actually think they're probably going to feel like, damn, we missed each other.
Well, I mean, it could be better for them and for like a successful relationship, but like, that's also what I think is shitty about this format. Like, why dump people and then have new people come in that could like shake things up? Correct. And so you have these like not necessarily real couples in there. Like, I think it would have been a better decision, like you mentioned, to have them come in. Either they choose or they come in as being somebody that or a quick recoupling happen or something. Like, I don't know.
I think it might have depended on who these two people said that they were interested in, and they were worried that certain people were going to go home. But that's the only thing, because they also can't stop them from choosing when they get to the pool, right? So they can tell them, well, yeah, this, this might happen or that might happen, but that you can't. That is the factor. You can't like factor that part in, right?
So annoying. This might cheer you up, says I thought I wrote that for you, and I was like, what's gonna cheer you up here? Mitch going home? Maybe. But my jam was saying that Casey is going to be arriving from series 9 and Joanna from series 5. Joanna, I mean, it wasn't her fault, but like I wasn't a fan. I couldn't like Joanna because of the whole Michael
Michael
situation.
thing. Yeah.
Like, so
when I watched it
lovely
too,
girl.
it was the same thing. It was like, girl, and when Amber called her a dead thing, it was just
A dead thing.
I'm sorry, I was okay with it. But listen,
agree.
Joanna's a beautiful girl. It wasn't ever about her.
Absolutely. No, it
It
was like
wasn't ever
about
about her. It wasn't ever about her. It was always about Michael. He literally ruined everything. So I do feel like people are like, oh, Joanna, she like some Casa Amor. I was like, some Casa Amor girl that literally changed the trajectory of a whole fucking season.
Yeah,
That
like,
people still remember. So
no,
no,
that was like it's the best season because of like the dramatics of that recoupling that Joanna was a part of. So
and
yeah.
then when he dumped her at the beach club.
Oh,
Was it the beach club? It was beach club ish, whatever
I
that.
can't remember.
I can't remember if it was still a beach club or if it was, yeah.
Oh, and he just got to stand there looking.
Oh, right. Because she was like, if you like me, you will come with me. And he's sitting there like, and we're like, shit. Yo, that entire section of that season.
So then Anton, this made me even more so not like Anton right now. Like I get he's more mature, whatever, a nice guy, whatever. But when he says that he had to fight for Georgia Harrison, throwing all the other guys under the bus, so that's like a pick me kind of behavior, right? But is that what it is? Is he a pick me boy? And that's why we don't like him.
You fought for her, fine, because you in your mind have a connection with her, she's your friend or whatever bullshit you've made up in your head, but you fight for her over Kaz, who has sat here and listened to you whine about the fact that nobody likes you, nobody wants you, even though she's put in, like, I feel like a little feelers about liking you, but been there, listened to you, stayed by your side.
She kissed him so he would get a kiss in Snog, Marry, and Pie,
and then was on the other side fighting for your ass not to go home. You can fuck all the way off, Anton. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Agreed. Like, Anton should have been dumped and Tyler should have stayed, to be honest. So the 4 Islanders talked to Maya Jama in that, like, after the episode dumping segment. And I'm annoyed with how nice Liberty is about the situation. Like, how she's handling it is really annoying. And she's like, it doesn't work out. And like, so, like, she's like trying to talk to him like they had something. And like, he's sitting there, he's like, we didn't have anything. So for you to be like pretending like, we tried and it didn't work out. And he's like, I didn't try. I didn't want you. Nothing. And like, he just wouldn't even give her a little inch of that. And I'm just like, why are you still trying to pretend like something happened here at Liberty? Like, he was off you from the start.
This is Liberty. And she said it. She's like, I'm linear Liberty. I'm always going to be who I am. She did the same thing with Johnny. She did the same thing with Callum. Like, I feel like those men also fucked her over. And she, she just can't help but being who she is. And that's why I'm saying I think she just needs to go and explore the world. And listen, I'm the ultimate optimist. I love
she needs to get offended though.
Properly. She needs to get a little rough around the edges, and that is where she's gonna be able to have a better male relationship.
They just walk all over her, and she's just like, "Oh, I just didn't work out." And like, no, he was a dick, and he fucked you around.
Correct.
Like, oh, like we tried, like. No, he was an asshole to you, and he was actively bad-mouthing you to everybody around and saying that you ruined his experience here. Like, let him have it. But, like, she's just too... It's just the niceness. Like, I wasn't feeling it. I was like, Liberty, yeah, get some grit, get a backbone, stand up for yourself, always, not just like in certain moments. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because even in that moment, I felt that she just looked like she was being. She still didn't realize that she was manipulated by Mitch and that he treated her
Well,
actually
she'll
very
see when
poorly.
she watches it back.
Will she?
If she watches it back.
Well, she didn't seem to learn from Jake.
No, I mean, I think she was a lot angrier with Jake than she was when she came off the show.
Oh, okay, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But like, it's like the same thing. Actually, I think Mitch is worse because
Mm-hmm.
Mitch was gaslighting her at the same
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
So that's all I wrote about the after sun segment. What did you write anything else about that? I don't care.
I didn't pay any attention to them whatsoever. I in general I was okay with the dumping. I do agree that of the people who I would change to not be dumped, it would have been Tyler. But
Mhm.
to me, I feel like Tyler kind of got himself into that situation to be dumped. And I'm not saying he should have stayed with Kaz. I'm just saying that he should have played this better. But
Well, you know what though? He did play it better because they were saved by the public.
yeah,
It was the Islanders that didn't save them, and
yeah,
so I think that he did the best that he could,
and
kinda,
yeah,
because like Hannah was the only person that was giving him any energy.
right. That's what I'm saying.
So he couldn't really do it. The fact though that Anton was still there though, it just kind of grosses me out.
Yeah. I was saying on Twitter, I said, not y'all really let Hannah trick y'all into voting her top three. For real. She did not like that man. And at best, they were using each other. That was not him using her.
No.
That was not him clout chasing her. At best, it was a mutual decision.
So the girls are talking to Casey. Casey says, "How's the love triangle?" And everybody's like, "Oh, bad timing, bad timing, bad timing." Because like Georgia Steele has now claimed that there's no love triangle and that they're only having friendly chats. And so I thought it was hilarious that Casey was like, maybe he saw some footage. And he
Well,
was
I mean, Casey's Tom's best friend. So between the footage and what he knows from them being together on the outside,
fair.
yeah.
So what do you think they're being they have what she with history? What do you think their history is?
I've
Slept
no
together a couple times?
yeah, I'm gonna assume it's sleeping together. I don't think it was it didn't sound like they went on dates and was like hanging out.
I don't know.
Because even with Georgia H and Casey, it sounded very similar.
Yeah, I mean Georgia H is like she's like so like weirded out that Casey's there, but she's gonna like be fine with it. So apparently they were seeing each other up until November,
Mm-hmm.
and then he ghosted her or he stopped
Mm-hmm.
responding to her texts or whatever. And I was like, interesting. And so this
But
is her
that's not how he's portraying it. He's saying they just stopped talking. I'm like, there's a difference.
I mean, that's he ghosted her and she didn't get the memo.
Right. That's two different things. Like,
Well, it's like wait, like if both people stop talking to each other at the same time, it's not ghosting, right? It's just like
no. Like,
so
if nobody's initiating contact, that's not ghosting. But if one person, like, if I double message you and you don't answer 9-1 message, I've been ghosted.
yeah. So I mean, if Georgia is correct and she did message him and he didn't respond,
Mm-hmm.
like he ghosted her.
He ghosted her. Now, why did he ghost her? We need to
I
find
mean,
out.
I'm noticing that like she's kind of a needy person and like yeah, I would probably ghost her too because
I forget what Casey is. What
his sign have zero
sign?
idea.
Yeah, let me
Well,
look at
Jordan does mention that she was talking to Anton, and then that kind of ended, and then Mitch, but Mitch was dumped. Sophie says that she was getting close to Josh. And the boys chatting with Joanna. She asked who's open. I think most of the guys said no. I think it was Tom that said it would take a lot to turn his head.
October 31st, Libra.
No, Scorpio.
Scorpio. Oh, so him and Kaz would be good.
I mean, does he like black women?
He said, listen, he was like, he's going to talk to them. People are like, oh, you're going to talk to this. And
Oh
he's
yeah.
like, he
But
did
like, are you sure
say,
that's not
he
just
said Kaz,
production
not,
being like, can you please talk to Kaz because she hasn't talked to anybody? And
he said Kaz, so I'm going to take it.
I mean, go for it. I want him to talk to Kaz for sure.
Yeah.
So she said they asked her top 3, and she's like going to keep it to herself. I'm like, just tell me your damn top 3. Like, don't
Joanna girl.
She talks about herself getting older, and like now she's looking not just for looks but more so for personality. And they asked how old she is. She says 27, and Chris's eyes just perk up because she's like, it's a good age-ish, like older, not 24. And Joanna thinks now that Chris thinks Joanna's now she's the one. Like she's the one that he wants to be with. Chris.
After all the other ones sailed away.
Can you look up Joanna's sign as well?
Oh.
Because we know that Chris is a Leo, and there's not many people that would be innately good matches for Chris.
Okay.
So Georgia grills Anton, and who was saying my name? Who wasn't fighting for me? Who didn't want me to be here? Because I'm friends with all these guys.
So she's a Libra.
She's what, September?
October 15th.
Libra. Oh, so that could be good for Chris. Mm-hmm. Libra and Leos are good matches. Mm-hmm. I would like him to have a good match.
Me too.
Because like Josh is like
with energy. I want to see Chris with somebody who gives him back energy, and then I can make a determination on where I land after the season with Chris.
Stanita says some folks are worried that Casey may pull a Cynthia on Kaz, so they don't.
Oh, he did date. That's who he left. Claudia for a black woman.
Oh, and then what happened though? They broke up?
Yeah. He broke up with her.
Well, I mean, right now it's fine for Kaz to be pursued.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, again, and like, I think he's like Casey's not ungenuine. So I'm going to go by what he says.
Okay.
Until I see differently. But I will say this, in history wise, he like I don't know if you've seen Cynthia. I follow her. She bakes cakes. She's beautiful. I didn't necessarily like the way he ended things with her, but yeah.
Rachel says, aren't Chris and Michael besties? How long did they date? I don't know. How long did Joanna and Michael date?
I don't know, but I did hear that apparently, I think on the show he said he messaged her or something.
Chris did message Joanna. Yeah, Chris DM'd. Joanna says this to Arabella.
Yeah. And I think Chris and Michael at some point were like roommates, so I'm confused. But maybe Michael doesn't care.
Was that when Chris was dating Maura?
I don't know. See, I don't know. I don't know timelines of these. I need them to like bring charts.
Okay.
See, they would have been better if they were going to do all of this to bring us charts. Charts. This happened and this happened and this happened and this.
And this is who we're bringing in. This is all the baggage that they have. I want all the history.
Do this.
I want the timelines. I want dates.
I want timelines and dates. I might overlap.
If I have like a bunch of free time, I might try to do it myself.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like that seems hard, but like I think it would be appreciated.
Yes. Like Arabella says she dated this person up until this part, and then she was sleeping with Toby at this point. Like we need a timeline.
I need a timeline. Like this would be like all the different spokes.
Yes.
The center of the spoke. No. Mm-hmm. Maybe Arabella. Yeah. Maybe Arabella. I don't know who's dated the most people.
All right.
And then we hear from Georgia and Casey. We're seeing each other up until November, blah, blah. And then he mugged her off. Toby's talking to Kaz, and Toby lets Kaz know that Anton voted for her to go. Mm-hmm. It's so gross. So like, he could have chose Hannah. But like, no.
Who didn't want nothing to do with him, but because she's your best friend in the villa, I guess. But like, she wasn't there to find anything.
Yeah, I would be pissed at Anton, but
Yeah.
Toby's like, don't say anything, don't pop off about it, but I just wanted you to know who you're working with. And I was like,
Yeah.
he handled this better than Anton handled that with Georgia Harris.
The way he said it sounded genuinely, I'm your friend, I'm covering your back. This, we're not gonna make a big deal about it, but we're gonna watch his ass.
Exactly. So Georgia Harrison and Casey talk, and that she's like, we still need to have a conversation, but I'm gonna let you enjoy your first night here. She's still angry though. And he's just kind of like, he doesn't know what, he doesn't care. I don't think he doesn't really know what's going on. Yeah. So Georgia Harrison confronts Chris about people wanting her out, and he's actually annoyed with Anton. So he goes against Anton, and he's like saying, like, Anton, I know that you didn't do this on purpose, and you're not a bad guy, and whatnot. And he was just letting Georgia Harrison know that he had her back. But I think it was kind of sneaky. Like, I think he wants, it's pick me, right?
He thought it was gonna bring her back around. Damn.
Like, there should be a line that Steve Harvey says to him, to men as well, like, don't let a woman tell you that she don't want you twice. Like, or 3 times.
Or 3 times.
Like, just get some self-respect, please, Anton. Like, it's so beggy.
Ridiculous.
So Tom thinks that Josh might be in trouble with Joanna, thinking that she's a bit of you or whatever. And I'm like, why is Tom trying to mess up this thing with Sophie? It's annoying. Anton and Joanna talk, and I'm like, and they were from the same season, and so they have a bit of banter, I guess. But he mentioned that he had a 1.5-year relationship. I need to know who this person was. I need to know what she looks like, his 1.5-year relationship since being on the show. I do. But he talks about, like, you know, they're getting older, not having much time left. Like, so they want these relationships to count. And then he asks her, he's so, it's now, okay, before I was like, okay, Anton, he's so sweet. He's such a kind guy, blah, blah, blah. But now that I'm looking through the pick-me lens and like the fact that he didn't support
Turned all the way off. Turned all the way.
Exactly. And so with him, like, what's your coffee order? You remember that I like making everybody coffee. And so it's that he does everything hoping for a reaction or hoping for a result.
So, yeah.
He's not an honest, genuine person. I think that that's what the problem is with him. That's why people aren't attracted to him, because he's phony. Like, he's acting like a nice guy, but is he really a nice guy? I don't know. I don't trust that, especially with him not standing up for Kaz.
Yep.
If he stood up for Kaz, I'd be like, oh, he's a stand-up guy. Yeah, this is like
I would have felt better if he would, like, I can't choose between Kaz and Hannah, so, like, don't even make me have to choose between them. I'm gonna keep my vote. They both need to stay in, right? Like, I would have appreciated that rather than him being like, oh, kick Kaz out. No, sorry.
So at this point, I think Anton is phony and he's a pick-me boy. Bedtime's happening. We see Josh making out with Sophie, but we see him saying that he wants to explore something with Joanna. So I'm just like, see, you make out with this girl under the covers and, like, you are not being kind with her, or, like, you're not being a boyfriend to her in public. It's kind of pissed me off.
Made sure to say that how open he is, and it's early days with him and Sophie, but made her lock down.
Yep.
Her and Chris. Lock off her and Chris.
So in the morning, they talk about how Mitch was a knob, but he was hilarious. Anton thinks that Joanna is so funny. She's so hilarious. And I'm like, you don't have a chance, Anton. Casey and Joanna are talking, and she wants to ask Tom Casey wants to ask Tom if he could pull Molly because they're friends in real life from the same season. He's with Molly right now, and so he wants to ask him first. And she talks about Anton having banter, but she has the same banter as Chris. No, she said no. So she says Anton is her boy mate, like they're friends. Sorry.
Yes. Because who was saying that? I think Amy was saying that on the podcast this morning, that she was almost certain that Anton and Joanna wouldn't be nothing there because
They're friends.
they're friends.
So Anton though wants to take a trip to Johannesburg, and I was like, okay, bad joke. Like, he doesn't know what he wants. I'm done. I'm over him. So Josh can't say no if Joanna wants to talk. And I'm like, but he says that also that things are going well with Sophie. Because he can't help though if she's pulled. It's the same thing that like Georgia does too, right? Like
Gameplay to me.
Gameplay. Tom and Casey do have a conversation, and he's like, "Don't worry about it." And like Casey's like, "Like I'm asking you because you're my friend," and he's like, "Go for it. Just chat with her. Chat with Molly."
Yeah.
And I think he's also said maybe Sophie, and then maybe chat with Kaz.
Okay. Oh, let me show you Cynthia, so you can see her.
I feel like I know what she looks like.
Yeah, I'm not sure if because you didn't finish this season, right?
Oh, I'm thinking of Cynthia. There's another Black Cynthia in Australia, right? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Maybe.
So Tom can't see Casey meditating daily, so like Georgia Harrison is out of the question. Oh, okay, yeah, she's pretty, but I don't know who she is at all.
Yeah, so she was a Casa girl, and I think he like explored stuff with her in Casa, but then went back to Claudia, but then like dumped Claudia at some point, but not. Can
you show Claudia here too?
Yeah, let me see if I can find
Claudia. And then Casey and Kaz, so Toby and Arabella do have another conversation, and he kind of cuddles her, and she thought that she was going, and he was like, "No, I'm gonna make sure that you stay." Like, there was no way Arabella was gonna go if Toby is invested in her to a certain degree, right? Like,
yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I do think they're both invested in each other. I don't think that is false in any way.
What else happened? Oh yeah, so Casey and Kaz do have a conversation. I felt the conversation seemed a bit forced. And then he's kind of like asking her if the bronzed ass was hers.
I was dying laughing. I was like, okay. But she was laughing.
She's laughing. I felt it was just a little bit forced. I didn't see like a love connection between them personally. Yeah. Anton and Joanna do have a conversation. They know that they get on, and they're just going to see if there's something more. Anton, there's nothing there. Okay, leave the girl alone. Like, don't put words in her mouth that you're going to try to see if there's something more. That she doesn't think there's anything. Then Sophie does pull Chris for a chat, and he's like, "Do I need to brace myself?" And she says that she just wants to focus on Josh. So now she's locked it off from Chris and all in on Josh now. And Josh is saying, like, "Well, things are going well with Sophie, but if she pulls me for a chat." Yes. And Joanna and Josh do have a conversation, and Josh says, "We're still open." And I don't know if anything else happened, but that's all I wrote down for the episode.
Yeah. This is Claudia. Hold on a second.
Oh, I mean, she's pretty, but she looks like all those girls.
Yeah, that's the thing. She's very, basic, but she's from a very rich family, apparently, and that was the whole thing. But
she's very, very pretty. She looks kind of like oh, not here, but Alyssa Snyder from Big Brother 24.
Yeah, maybe with the brown hair ish.
Not in this picture, but in the other.
Not in this picture, yeah.
I mean, she's pretty.
Yeah. But, yeah, like here, look, that's very Alyssa.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it for these episodes. Do you have anything else you want to say?
No, I like I said, they need a format change. I'm just here because I don't know where this is going. Again, do people win this? Like, they're not saying.
I feel like it's a £50,000 thing.
Yeah, like, what's the point? I don't know anymore.
Well, what are you working on? That's something that you do know about.
I am doing Traders US, which is tomorrow, the episode. So hopefully, I think Miss TJ and Janelle and I will be streaming our recap on Friday, but I have to check with the girls. And I don't know. Like I said, last one, they want me to cover Love is Blind. And I said I may pipe in if you do it. I don't know.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see
Yeah,
how that goes.
yeah.
What I don't like about Love is Blind, I don't like 4 episodes and 3 episodes and 1 episode.
That's
Like,
my
I hate
problem.
that.
It's so hard. Like I will say this, I am happy for the traders that they're doing one episode at a time because it's just easier to recap and it's not like flooded with a bunch of information and stuff happening. And I really hate trying to cover Netflix shows because of that. That's really what it is for me. And then also I don't like how they handle some of the stuff that happens
Yeah.
on
I
Netflix.
think if we're gonna do Love is Blind, I
Mhm.
think I would want to just like do it by episode. So episode 1, I know they drop all 4, but like let's
Mhm.
do a quick recap on the like do all maybe all the recaps and all the
Mhm.
watching on the same day, but
Mhm.
I just need them separate. I don't want to do a 4-hour recap.
Recap, yeah.
I'll do 4 recaps at an hour, but I don't want
Yeah.
to do one 4-hour one. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I agree. I agree. That's my thing. Like I just hate doing a bulk. And although I will say, if if and when the mole comes out, I'll probably will recap the show.
Oh, of course. And like all that goes out the window. But yeah.
Yeah. But I with Love is Blind, yeah, I would prefer to do it that way. And then I'm so a couple of scripted shows are coming out next month, which is Avatar, The Last Airbender. They're doing that series, which I'm excited for. And then one other scripted show was I wanted to watch. So I will see what I'm going to cover in the next month or so. So February is a short month, so you
Well, not
never
too
know.
short, but
Yeah,
yeah, we got 29 days this month, so
yeah,
a little bit longer than the last 4 years.
yeah.
Anyways, though, thank you everybody here in the chat. You guys are the best, as you know. We love you. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to this channel. I'm always, whenever I look at like any of the analytics, a lot of people that watch aren't subscribed. So please subscribe. It actually really helps out the channel. And it also lets us know that you want to have us do more recaps. And so please subscribe, like this video. Let us know if you think that there's going to be a movie night or not. And maybe give us your ideas of what categories can be in this awards thing. Just let's hear your creativity because it's going to be better than what we're probably going to get. But then we can talk about them and like who would place in those categories. So yeah, leave your category suggestions in the comments below. And I guess you'll see me. What day is it today? Maybe me and you could do after the episode tomorrow as well. So we'll probably see us both tomorrow and we'll do
Yeah.
episode 18. Talk to you soon.